Welcome everyone to our How to Get Media Attention for Your Brand workshop. During this workshop, we're going to be dialing in on how you can get media exposure for what it is you're currently building. This is an incredible opportunity for you to see and explore ways in which you can get visibility for free. All of what you're doing is media. Many of us don't believe that what we're building is actually like media worthy. We might not feel that we have something to blast that people need to know of all around the world, but it's true. If you don't share what you're doing, how will anyone know? So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then we're going to get started with this presentation. This is a type of attitude I want us to all have as we're working on getting visibility for what it is we're building. No one else can do exactly what we can do in the same way that we're doing it. That's one of the biggest reasons why we need to dial in ways in which we can get seen. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to deliver this particular workshop today. My name is Dr. Peace Uche, also known as Doc Peace. I'm a doctor by trade and a spoken word poet. I'm also a brand awareness strategist and creative strategy consultant. My goal is to help you increase brand authority and visibility on what it is that you're building as you're building it. There's no need to wait till the house is already built and ready to go. You can actually start getting visibility as you're building. And that's something I really want to hone in on for everyone here today. Before I was Doc Peace, I was Dr. Peace Uche, working as a pharmacist full-time. If you were to Google my name, all you would find was LinkedIn, my LinkedIn pharmacist profile. I had absolutely no presence as a spoken word poet, as a brand strategist. I had absolutely no presence because I had not taken the time to get media attention. I was shifting careers. I have now been featured in Forbes, Yahoo Finance, ArtNet News, CoinDesk twice. To say the least, this would not have happened if I didn't take the steps that I'm going to share with you today to get featured on those platforms. Today's agenda is to first dial in why media attention matters. Secondly, we're going to show how to get media attention. And then I'm also going to show you some media alternatives as well. Why is it so important to get media attention for your brand? I'm going to take you back to when I was at one of the big major conferences, and I was speaking on this stage. And I remember someone close to me asking, how did you get on this stage? How did you get an opportunity to speak on this platform? I've been trying to get on this platform. I've been auditioning. I've been pitching. I've been doing all the things to get on this platform, and I haven't been able to do so yet. How did you do it? The biggest thing that I was able to share with this person is that there's two ways to get on these big platforms, the NFT NYC, the NFTLA, and other big platforms. I'm talking a lot about the NFT space because that's a space I've been in for the last year, and I know many of us have been as well. But there's so many other larger platforms outside the Web3 space. How do you get on those platforms? How do you build up to this point where now you get seen by hundreds of people, and you get heard, and you get these opportunities to connect? The biggest way in which you can do so, there's actually two. The first is to pay for those time slots, is to pay for that visibility. I know there's a lot of conferences in which people pay thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to be seen on these platforms. And I know this for a fact because there was a particular stage in which I spoke at, and the way I was able to do so was because someone got sick. Someone got sick and I filled in that gap. But the person who got sick and paid for that time slot, they paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for that particular position. And so unless you're sponsored or unless your brand is rolling in the money, it might be difficult for you to get to that position where you can pay for those time slots. The second way in which you can get visibility, and in fact, you can get on these stages and gain massive visibility, is to get media attention for your brand. It's to have a media presence. It's to have a presence online so that when your name or when your brand is Googled, things will show up. Because believe it or not, when those stakeholders are searching for people to have on their stages, they're definitely doing a Google search. They're looking to see what this particular person has to offer. What kind of community have they built out? Are people already like Googling them? Are people already connected? Do people even know who this person is? And if the answer is no, then they might not want to have you on their massive stage. And so this is why it's so important to, from the very beginning, dial in your media presence so that you show up when someone Googles your name. And even if you're not looking to speak on stages, there could be opportunities in terms of working with clients, big clients, or collaboration opportunities in which someone might Google your name and want to know more about you outside of your website, outside of your social media. And if there's no media presence, if no one's talking about you in the third sense, like if it's not just you talking about yourself, then there's no credibility. There's a lack of credibility. So this is just a couple reasons why media attention matters. More eyes equal more eyes. The more eyes you get, the more eyes you get. The more visibility you get, the more it's a ripple effect. So the more people see you, the more and more people see you, and it just becomes this exponential growth for you and your brand. And it all starts with getting that first article and the next article, and getting that, building that media exposure makes more people actually want to cover you. Go figure. So the first way to get media attention is to make a golden media blast. Many people might know this as a press release. I call it a golden media blast. And the way in which you're going to do so is to understand that everything that you do in your business can be newsworthy if you say it in the right way. Something that people will actually not only want to read, but will actually get approved on various press release platforms. I have a whole template that I've created for you all today on how to craft a press release that will get approved and will go out on press release platforms. Press releases allow you to officially showcase what you've got going on. As soon as you put out a press release, it becomes official. It's more than just an advertisement on your social media page. It's an official document that showcases what you're going on, what you have going on. And secondly, press releases can get picked up by larger platforms. Did you know that? Did you know that press releases can get picked up by larger platforms? You can put out your own press release and other larger platforms can see that press release and then push it out on their own platform. This is something that can't be done on social media. Yes, you can share what you have going on and others can share it on their platforms, but this takes it to a whole nother level. It becomes a global way for you to share an official document of what you have going on. And what's so important here is that you're actually writing it. You don't have to wait for some other media journalist to come around and say, hey, can I showcase what you have going on? No, you are actually showcasing what you have going on your own. So not only is it an official showcase, other larger platforms can feature you, but it also sets you up to create a Wikipedia. So I know this might not be something that you thought of in the past, but I want you all to think about this for the future. If you're growing your brand to the point people actually know who you are, then having a Wikipedia should be something that's on your brain. When you're creating your Wikipedia, it has to be an official document. And it can't be a press release that you put out yourself. It has to be a press release that's been put out or pushed out by a larger platform. So this is why it's important to that second point that I shared. Press releases can get picked up by larger platforms. So you can showcase what you have going on, and it could be an official document. And it can't be a press release that you put out yourself. It has to be a press release that's been put out or pushed out by a larger platform. So this is why it's important to that second point that I shared. Press releases can get picked up by larger platforms. So you can showcase what you have going on. And it could be anything from as small as, oh, I'm hosting a workshop. I'm hosting a workshop on this particular day. And you say all the details of what that workshop entails. Again, it needs to be newsworthy information. You holding a workshop is newsworthy information if you word it in the right way. So now you have all of this documentation of what you've done. You have that you've hosted this workshop, that you spoke on this platform, that you built this particular tool, that you've launched this particular product, that you've created this particular animation piece, and it's all officially documented in a press release. And then that press release has been picked up by bigger news media platforms, so it's even more official. And then you can create a wiki that goes through the timestamp of the growth of your brand. So this is something to get really excited about, because press releases, you make them yourself, and then it has the potential to get picked up by bigger brands. So this can give you massive media exposure, especially if you're doing this on a continuous basis. And the kicker here is that it's free. It's free to push out your own press release. Yes, there's certain things that you can pay for to expand that exposure, but initially you can just start pushing out press releases for free. And the template that I have to share with you will guide you through on how to create an effective press release. And it'll also include an example of a press release that I've crafted in the past. It got picked up by a bigger outlet. So this actually works, and I'm really excited for you to try it for your brand as well. So just a couple points on how to create this press release before we go on to the second way in which you can get media attention for your brand. It needs to be newsworthy information. It cannot be pitchy. It has to be uniquely worded, meaning that no other piece of information or content out there is worded in the same way. It can't be a copy and paste type of thing. It can't have all caps, which is also called hype text. We see that a lot on social media. Can't have exclamation marks, and it needs to be written in a journalistic style. So it needs to be very matter of fact in the third person. So this is happening on this date. This is what's happening. This is the information that will be shared on this particular date, and this is how you can join. And again, the template that I have to share with you will give you a step-by-step way on how to craft your press release, where to go submit that press release, and an example of a past press release that I've not only submitted, got approved, but also got picked up by a larger media outlet. The next way in which you can get media attention for your brand, number 2, is to pitch directly to media. Now we're going to go over how you can actually pitch directly to journalists. This is a platform called Help a Reporter Out, or HARO. HARO connects journalists who are seeking expertise from experts like you and me to create their content. They're looking for sources. You go to this platform, create a login, select I'm a source, you create your profile, and then you would immediately get pushed out emails, 3 emails a day that you get Monday through Friday, with opportunities to get featured like in these massive articles. For example, Fox was in one on Friday. Fox News was looking one on Friday. Fox News was looking for information on a particular piece of content, and they're looking for sources that had that information. You'll be taken to a screen like this. This is the most important part, the HARO preferences. This is essentially where you tell HARO what you're specialized in. This master HARO signs you up for all of them. So if you click Master HARO, you'll start getting emails from journalists asking for sources. They're asking for your expertise so that they can use you as a source. This is an incredible way to get featured in media for your particular expertise. Okay. I want to share with you an example of an email from HARO. It's Monday afternoon edition, because again, they have multiple editions that go out throughout the day. They break it down into the different topics. I'm going to scroll through. And then in the parentheses, you can also see the platform that is actually looking for that source. You can scroll down and again and see these major platforms. There's so many different topics and a lot of big platforms that are looking for experts. Let's look at Squarespace website owner to share opinion on the website builder, right? Many of us have probably used Squarespace. So they're looking for someone like you or me who's used this platform to share their opinion on Squarespace. And you can see that the particular journalist who's asking for this, her name's Emma. You can see her email. Now you can email out a pitch sharing your expertise. And you can also see what it is that she's asking for. So you would respond to this pitch answering all these questions. Once she reviews what you've pitched, and if it's in alignment with what it is that she's looking for, then she would feature you in Website builder expert is that media outlet specifically. So you'd get an immediate feature in this website builder expert platform. How easy is that? And so if you were to receive these emails, a couple of them a day, and you were to pitch at least one of these journalists a day, imagine how much massive exposure you would get for your brand. And again, this is a free platform. So those are two massive free ways in which you can get media attention for your brand: creating your own press releases and then pitching journalists who are looking for experts like you to be featured on their platform. Once they email you back saying, yes, I would love to feature you, you can make that direct connection with that source. There's been so many times where I've pitched out a pitch to a particular journalist, and then they've come back to me directly asking me specifically for my expertise. So they didn't want to go through Haro anymore. They don't need to go through Haro. They know that they already found the experts. So they just reach out directly to you. So you can make that connection with a specific journalist so you can get featured regularly, on their media platforms. I want to take the time to go over some media alternatives. There are three main media alternatives. Many of us are familiar with stages, like virtual and in-person stages. And if stages have a marketing budget, they're marketing for you. So this is an important question to ask when you say yes to speak on a stage. If it's a small stage, as long as there's a marketing budget, not only do you get that practice and opportunity to speak to a new audience, but you also get free publicity. So that's not something to keep in mind. When it comes to podcasts are evergreen content. So they will forever exist. Even after the podcast stops taping, your podcast episode will forever exist on Spotify or YouTube or whatever platform that podcast went on. So that's something to keep in mind. That's massive exposure because you're on somebody else's platform. If someone Googles you, you will show up because you've been featured on that podcast. Twitter Spaces could be evergreen as well if the space is recorded. When I led a space with Lauren Turton, we would record those spaces and push them out as podcasts as well. So there's a lot of potential there with podcasts, Twitter Spaces, and in-person virtual stages as well. One thing that I really enjoy, though, is blogs. Blogs don't require you to show up in real time, and they feature your expertise. They may be more personable than larger media outlets, depending on your relationship with the host. Start looking into being featured on blogs because of that personability of the blogs and the ability for you to show up in your own time. Let's Flow Gold Inner Circle is a platform that I built out to house your profile on our platform, letsflowgold.io. We have 100 plus monthly visitors, so you're getting immediate eyes on what it is you're building. You get featured in our blogs. One mistake I made when I was first starting out was that I wasted time building my website. No visitors came because I had no established media presence and no leads. So this solves the problem of obscurity from the very beginning. You get immediate eyes, continuous exposure, workshop style meetings to help develop these media pitches, your outreach strategy, and all of the components of building a media presence. That leads us to our last slide here. We've gone over a lot today, but I want to make sure that you get the opportunity to get the Golden Blast template to create your press releases and start getting featured on other people's platforms. So all you have to do is go to bit.ly/media blast, or if you have your phone handy, you can take a picture of that QR code. But again, it's bit.ly/media blast. So you can get that template and start building that press release to get media exposure.